Chapter 18, School. It was early Monday morning and we still had a crowd outside our house. Although it seemed that Mum was right, the crowd was dwindling. Mind you, they still weren't disappearing fast enough for my liking. Am I going to have to walk through that lot to get to school? I said, frowning out of the front door window. No, until this whole thing blows over, your dad and I will take you to school, said Mum. But Dad's gone to work, so I'll drive you today. You'll drive me. Yes, I can drive, you know, I have passed my test. But that was when you had to crank the engine up to the front of the car to start it, I scoffed. And you hate driving. Well, I'll just have to learn to love it, won't I? The police have recommended that's what we do until all the people outside our house get a life, Mum sighed. But why go to all this bother? Mum looked away from me. She couldn't meet my eyes, and in that instant I knew that something was very wrong. Mum? Come on, we better get going. You don't want to be late for your first day back at school. I watched Mum, but I didn't say anything. This was totally unlike her. Mum believed in straight talk and no nonsense. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That was her motto. She was the last one to hide anything from me, but that's what was happening. Won't some of these journalists and rubberneckers be at school too? I asked. They have to stay outside the school grounds or they'll be arrested. Journalists have to get school and local authority permission before they can go onto school premises, Mum told me. In fact, you'll probably get more privacy at school than in this house. Silence. Are you alright, Mum? I'm fine. What about Alex? Mum patted her pregnant bulge. Alex is fine too. You're giving yourself your anti-rejection injection? Yes, Mum, and I've taken my tablets and my medicine. Mum asks me that question every morning, without fail. We'd better go. Are you ready, Cam? I nodded. Something was going on. The question was what? I didn't ask, and Mum wasn't going to say, but I was determined to find out. Cameron, how are you? How are you feeling? We saw you on the telly. From the moment I walked into school, I was surrounded by my friends and others who had never said one word to me before. Although it was embarrassing, in a strange way, it was also quite nice. I was the centre of attention. I was special. A couple of kids even asked me for my autograph. It was bizarre. I saw you on the telly, Weed. Travis pushed his way through the crowd, standing in front of me. I was surprised you had the guts. My name is Cameron, not Weed, I told him. And I've got guts and a lot more besides. Now could you shift? You're in my way. Travis looked around. Well, you're braver than me. I stared at him. That was the very last thing I'd expected him to say. I don't know if I could have done that. I don't know if I could have done what you did, he continued. You couldn't, musclehead, I told him without hesitation. Excuse me. I swept past him in the best royal fashion. The monarchy would have been proud of me. If Travis thought we could be friends now, he had another thing coming. Not after all the grief he'd given me over the last year. I didn't do so much walk as allow myself to be swept along to class by the crowd of people around me. And then I saw him, Marlon. I stopped and we both just looked at each other. Didn't know what to say or do, so I said and did nothing. I walked past him without a word. Even as I was doing it, I wanted to stop and go back and say sorry and laugh and have everything just as it had been before. But then I was angry with myself. Why should I apologise? He was the one who should say sorry, not me. And I had the image of the front page of the Daily Press in my head to prove it. So why was I so upset? By the time Mr. Stewart arrived, I had so many people around me I couldn't move. Anyone who's not in my class can leave now, Mr. Stewart bellowed out. To be honest, I was glad to see him. All those people surrounding me and asking me question after question made me feel as if I was being pecked to bits. Without ceremony, Mr. Stewart ushered out all those who shouldn't have been in his class. The noise was deafening, chatter and laughter and a couple of prods in the back from Andrew, who sat behind me. I grinned at him and looked around, glad to be back. There was Julie. She caught me watching and immediately looked away. Now that I was like everyone else, maybe Julie and I, my face burning, I carried on looking around. I didn't want anyone else to look at me, and guess what I was thinking? Marlon stood over by the window watching me. I hadn't seen him standing there when I'd been surrounded. He waited until the rest of us had sat down at our desk before coming over to sit next to me. Cameron, can I talk to you? He whispered. I looked directly at him. What about? I'm sorry about the newspaper article. Is that all you've got to say? You're sorry? Neither of us spoke above a fervent whisper. Mr. Stewart was still chucking kids out of his class, but I didn't want to attract his attention, or anyone else's for that matter. What do you want me to say? Marlon asked. You promised me you wouldn't tell anyone about my operation. Now we can get out of the house with the crowd. Now we can't get out of the house for the crowds. We can't use our phone because we've got people calling us day and night. We can't even pick our noses in peace. without our every movement being recorded and analysed. We have to keep all the upstairs curtains drawn to stop reporters trying to spy in from our neighbours' houses, and we have you to thank for all of that. You don't understand. I was upset about what might happen to you. My mum kept pestering me until I told her why I was moping around the house. I made a promise not to tell anyone, but she told Dad, and he was the one who told the newspapers. I hear your family made a lot of money from selling me out. I was scornful. It wasn't me, Marlon protested. Dad did it, not me. Excuse me, but I told you and only you, and I told you to keep it secret. Don't blame your dad because you can't keep your mouth shut. If you kept your promise, your dad would never have had a story to tell or sell. I'm sorry. What more can I say? It won't happen again, I promise. Too right, it won't happen again. My eyes narrowed as I regarded Marlon. You must be nuts if I think I could ever trust you with another secret. You can trust me. I won't let you down again. Read my lips. You won't get a chance. Do you get it? Do you dig it? Do you grab? That's enough talking, thank you, Mr. Stewart hollered. What is the matter with everyone today? It's just your ordinary, everyday, standard Monday morning. So let's get on with it. He looked at me. Please don't ask me to say a few words, I prayed. Please don't. Welcome back, Cameron, Mr. Stewart smiled. Now then, while I take the register, you can all get out your maths books. Double maths first thing on a Monday morning. I love it. I smiled my thanks to Mr. Stewart. Thank goodness he hadn't asked me to show myself up. Here, Cam, Andrew prodded me in the back again. We're going swimming tomorrow afternoon after school. Do you want to come? Yeah, alright. I'll have to check and make sure it's okay first, I amended. Now that I was well, I wouldn't have to bend the truth anymore about where I was going each Tuesday evening. I'd asked Mum and Dad if it was okay for me to go swimming. I was sure they'd say yes. Dr. Bryce said I could do anything I wanted. I just shouldn't overdo it. My body needed time to build in strength and stamina after 2 years of no exercise because my old heart couldn't take it. But now I had a new heart in me. That thought never ceased to amaze me. I took my pulse. It was strong and regular, just the way it should be. Are you okay, Marlon asked immediately. I frowned. Yes, why wouldn't I be? You're taking your pulse. So, I'm fine. Or are you looking for more info to sell to the papers? The moment the words were out, I was sorry. I opened my mouth to say so, but Marlon had turned away, and the moment was lost. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I seemed to be lashing out. There was no other way to describe it, and I had no idea why. First Mum and Dad, then Travis, now Marlon. If I was the one who'd had a heart transplant operation, and you were the one who told, I would have forgiven you, Marlon said quietly. I looked at him. He looked straight ahead at the teacher. I have forgiven you, I said. No, you haven't, Marlon replied. Yes, I have. Marlon looked at me. He just looked, and in that moment, I knew, and he knew that I was lying. He was right. In spite of all the things I told myself about forgiving but not forgetting, I knew that I hadn't forgiven Marlon. Deep inside, I was still angry. Deep inside, I was still hurt. For the rest of the double lesson, Marlon and I listened to Mr. Stewart drone on and did the exercises we were meant to do in our maths books, but we didn't say another word to each other. That was something that had never happened before, and I didn't like it.